Yo, YouTube world, how's it going? My name's Felix, and welcome to my video where I'm going to talk about how you can make $1,000 a day on Shopify with Facebook ads and Instagram. So if you don't know who I am, I've been doing e-commerce for about a year and a half now. I started with drop shipping, then I switched to my own in-house fulfillment because I wanted faster shipping times and better customer retention, and I'm focusing more on building my own brand rather than keeping it as the dropship model. So before I get started, I do have a Facebook group if you'd like to join. It's a hustle outside the box. You can just search that in the Facebook bar, and here is where I drop strategies that have been working for me, or any sort of insight, or any news that I've discovered, as this is my full-time job, my full-time gig. So I'm constantly learning new stuff, and it's always good to share it with others and see if anyone else has had similar experiences, so we can kind of compare. So just before I get started, I'll just show you something very quickly. So today is the 18th of October. So this is my sales so far for the month, which is almost 11,000. It's been very slow. I've been a bit busy with other projects. Been buying more inventory, moving stock to new warehouses. So I'm aiming to try to do between 30 to 50k this month, and then the following 2 months of the year I'm aiming to do 50k each. Okay, just to let you guys know that I'm legit. I'm not just some sort of preacher who doesn't actually have any valid experience in dropshipping or e-commerce in general. So just to get that out of the way, and we'll jump into the good stuff now. So so making $1,000 a day with Shopify and Instagram. So whether you've got a brand new store or you've been running e-commerce dropshipping for a while and you're kind of struggling to get any sort of traction, this is a strategy that myself and my business partner have been testing on new stores, and we've actually been introducing it to a few students that we do a bit of mentoring with. So first things first is your Facebook pixel. So if you don't know what your Facebook pixel is, it is a code that Facebook gives you in your ad manager. You install it into your Shopify store, which is really simple. And what it does is it collects data from all the users that visit your website, and it's able to build out profiles and audiences on those users to find out similar users who are your ideal customers, because not everyone's going to be your customer. So they want to find the ideal one, and this is going to make it a lot more efficient and cheaper for advertising to them later on using Facebook ads. So got your pixel installed on your website. The next thing you need to do is you need to start collecting data on your Facebook pixel. So if brand new store, you won't have any data on your Facebook pixel. If you're trying to run Facebook ads, it's going to be quite high cost because Facebook doesn't know who your ideal customer is. So you need to start using some alternative low cost ad types, which I'm going to get into in 1 second. I'm going to get into right now. So these are low cost ad types are Instagram shout out pages and engagement ads on Facebook. So the Instagram shout out pages are pages on Instagram which aren't necessarily like an individual own personal Instagram account. It's usually like pages around like a sort of like a culture or niche. So that might be like sneakers, like jewelry, rings, necklaces, dogs, cats, like particular breeds of dogs, particular breeds of cats, baby clothes, or like all like babies in general. And usually these pages, they focus on producing high quality content, so high quality images and videos, which their followers are quite interactive with. So these pages are actually an ideal place to start advertising. And how it works is you send them a message and you ask them for promotion costs. How much does it cost for a shout out? Essentially is what it's called. And they'll usually give you different pricing options. So it might be like a 24-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour pricing package, and the prices might be different depending if it's on their actual like feed of photos or if it's included in their story. And a lot of them are quite professional. It's a business to them, so they'll provide you all sorts of data like insights, link clicks from previous similar promotions. So Gives you a good idea of what you're working with. Especially if you see these pages are already doing, if you see they've done recent promos before, then you know that like people are spending money on these pages for a reason. So you want to look for shout out pages anywhere between like 100,000 to 500,000. If you can get up to 1 million, like that's even better. So the more followers, the better. Obviously, it's going to cost you a bit more. Their prices can range anywhere from like $20 to $500, depending on the following. What you do is you send them some high quality photos of your best selling product, or a product you think will sell the best, product you really want to push on the market. You include a bit of a caption for that photo, so a bit about your brand. You might include a discount code, and then make sure you have your Instagram handle, so @ and then your store name. And then on your actual Instagram page, have your website in the bio, so your link in the bio. So what's going to happen is they're going to post it up to their following. Their followers are going to see it, like hopefully a lot of them engage with that photo. They click on your Instagram handle, they get to your page, they follow your Instagram account, and then they click on your website. In the bio, they go to your store, and then from there, your Facebook pixel is going to start collecting data on all these interested visitors, because they took the time out of the day to click out of Instagram to your website to find out more about your product. Hopefully you get a couple sales from it. Like usually if you it can take a little bit of time to pick out the best shout out pages, but my experience, like I've been able to generate sales from a lot of first time shout outs, so hopefully you'll get a few sales from it. Your Facebook pixel will start collecting up data on everyone that's adding to cart, initiating checkout, all those actions, purchases, and then it's going to use that data to create a kind of a refined profile around similar people on Facebook who they can target with your Facebook ads. So that's the general gist of shout out pages. The other one is engagement ads on Facebook. So these are low cost Facebook ads. They're not actually too common for e-commerce. Most people use website conversion ads, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. So with these engagement ads, the whole objective of them is to show your ad to as many people who are likely to engage with that particular post. So that's usually in the form of likes. They target people who show high rates of activity of like liking, sharing, commenting, tagging their friends, and like photos, videos, whatever form of like post you're gonna make. So you can make either a picture or video. Video always does well, a lot better than pictures, still images, so keep that in mind. And then you want to include a link, so a link to your website in the caption to that, or in the description of that photo or video. Run that on Facebook. I recommend doing a high, like a moderate to high budget per day. If you can afford to do $50 a day and run that for say like 3 to 4 days, you're going to get a ton of engagement, and you're going to get a ton of clicks to your website. Your Facebook pixel is going to be able to pick up all this information, all this data, and then it's going to better serve you when you start running website conversion ads. Now, while you have all this going, the next thing you want to do is you want to set up your retargeting ads on Facebook. So this is very important. So what you do is, using your Facebook pixel, they can create audiences based off people who visited your site and took particular actions. So I'm just going to show you firsthand what it looks like. So if I jump into, you're in the ad manager, you jump into audiences here. Let's just leave that. Alright. Let's see. Okay, so you got your audiences here. You might not have created any audiences, so there might not be anything there. So you click this blue button here, and you click custom audience. Okay, and then you click the second one here, website traffic. Create a list of people who visited your website and took specific actions. Alright, and this is going to be based off the website visitors and your pixel data. So make sure you got the right pixel there. And down here you have the option to choose all website visitors, people who visited specific pages, by time, or you can go by the event. So I like to do it by the event. So you've got these different types of events here. So this one's quite general. You might have a lot of people who view your product and they'll fire this type of event. And that's literally just a view. A lot of people who view your product might not even be interested. They're just bored, and they like might have made a mistake by accident. These ones here are more specific. So anyone who adds the product to cart, anyone who initiates checkout, anyone who adds payment info but doesn't purchase, then they're interested in the product. Just something came up last minute that prevented them from completing the purchase. So by creating a retargeting audience based on these actions, you're more likely to convert these particular users. So you can create a stacked audience on all 3 of those actions. So you just click the include more. So we had the add payment info, we've got the initiate checkout, and then we have the add to cart. So we created a stacked audience on everyone who did these 3 particular actions, and then you can create it, you can set it up by the time frame. So it goes up to 180 days. So depending how long you've been running traffic for, you want to determine the time frame. I usually like to go anywhere between 30 to 90 days. But if you're a brand new store, then you might just want to keep it within 7 days. So say you're setting up your retargeting ad on day 6 of your timeline of running low cost traffic to your site, then set up a retargeting ad for the past 7 days. And you can do that for each one, 777. Then you just save this audience, give it a name you can remember. So it might be all website, add payment info, initiate checkout, and add to cart. Something you can just refer to it, and then you create that audience. And then you can go and you can run an ad. And when you choose the audience, you can go choose saved audience. Actually, choose a custom audience, and there will be your audience. You run your ad back to them. You could give it like a specific message, like, "Hey, come complete your order. Here's a discount code, or here's 10% off." Something custom, and you will find that you will get. You'll most likely start getting some low cost purchases from running that ad. So when I mean low cost, I mean low ad cost, low ad spend. And how that works is a lot of the visitors to your website might just need to see your product, your offer 2 to 3 times before they're fully convinced that they want that product, which is totally normal. That's just human psychology. So you just got to play along human psychology. You got to just tempt them a little bit more. The more times they see your brand, the more familiar they become with it, the more awareness in their mind. How they see it is, I keep seeing this brand, it keeps popping up. I really like this product, but the first time I saw it, I wasn't too sure because I had my doubts because it was a brand new store and I didn't know if how credible they were. But now that I keep seeing them on my news feed and my Instagram, everywhere I go, I'm starting to develop this behavior in my mind, this impression in my mind that this brand is credible because they're obviously showing up everywhere and I really do want this product, so they got the credibility in my mind. I'm going to complete the purchase. That's essentially how a lot of the psychology works of the consumer, online advertising and retargeting. So that's the first 3 steps you want to do: Instagram shoutouts, engagement ads on Facebook, and your retargeting on Facebook. Now, once you start collecting a bit of data, you run these ads for, depending on the daily budget, if you've got a high daily budget, anywhere around like $100 a day, you're going to start getting a lot of data very quickly. So within like a week, you can start running conversion ads, website conversion ads. So if you don't know what website conversion ads are, these are the #1 ads for e-commerce. These are the best ads for running to get customers to buy something. So if you're not familiar with the dashboard, I'll quickly show you what we're talking about. So the very first ads I recommended was an engagement. So you'd get these ones here and you go paste engagement. Once you start collecting the data, the next one you want to do is conversions. Okay, and down here you have the conversion event. So you got the view content, add to cart, initiate checkout. So brand new store, you're going to have you've got a brand new store, you've been running a lot of traffic, you're going to have a lot of view content events. So how it kind of works is it stacks up at the top and then it gets smaller and smaller as you go down. You got to think of it like the sales funnel. So there'll be a lot of view contents, a lot of people viewing your product. Not everyone who's viewing your product. So this is fired every time someone views a different page on your site, but not everyone who's viewing your product, like browsing your store, is going to add to carts. So you're going to have a lot less add to carts. Not everyone who add to cart is going to initiate checkout. Not everyone who initiate checkout is going to add to payment info. Not everyone who adds payment info is going to do the purchase. So you kind of get the idea. It's a funnel going down, so it's going to get smaller and smaller. So you want to work with the most data you have at the start. So the most data you're likely to have will be the view content and add to cart. So depending on how successful your Instagram shoutout pages went, your Facebook ads, so your retargeting and your low cost engagement ads there, if you found you have a lot of add to cart data, then you can start with the add to cart. So if you've got, say, anywhere over 50 add to carts on your pixel, and I'll show you how you can find that out, then you can start on add to carts. And otherwise, if you've got less than 50 add to cart fires, then start with the view content. So this is where you can find out. You go to your pixel, go to your pixel events here. This pixel I'm using, this is for a brand new store, so there hasn't been much happening. So you go to activity here. As you can see, like view content, there's been a little bit. I mean, we go to the events, the entire events. So you can see like along here as you go along, you can see like 73 view contents by the day. And it gives you like the add to carts. So in the total, I haven't had much data. I've had a lot of view contents, but not much add to carts. So if I was running any ads on this ad account, I would start with view content just because I don't have many add to cart fires. And actually, here we go here. So you can see the total counts. You got like the view content 73, add to carts 7, initiate checkouts 5. So there hasn't been a lot of traffic running to this particular store, hence why the data's low. So start where you've got the most data. If your Instagram shoutouts and your Facebook ads were amazing and you have over 50 add to carts, then optimize your ads for this event here. Let's get this out of the way. Optimize your ads for add to cart. Alright, cool. So that's the setup of the ad. I'm not going to go through the entire setup of it. There's plenty of other videos on YouTube about it. So once you got your ad running, you want to start interpreting the data. Because this is important. You need to know how to read the data, because you need to know whether this ad is running successfully or to kill it and then do a new ad. And this is the entire process. This is the fundamental idea of scaling, where you need to have a lot of traffic coming to your site. If you can have good performing ads pulling in a ton of traffic, you're going to get more sales. It's going to get you close to that $1,000 a day on your store. So you're running your ad. I recommend running a daily budget between $10 to $20. You're going to get the data quicker. You're going to get more momentum. And I find that Facebook performs better on ads that are running at $10 to $20 rather than $5 a day. It's a little bit too slow. I'm a little bit too conservative, and you got to be willing to spend a bit of money without an immediate return. That's what too many people have the wrong mindset about, is trying to be as low cost, as nimble and conservative as possible, which is actually going to set you up for failure more likely, because you want to be focused on the long game. Every dollar you spend now is an investment for the future of your business. Whether it brings in immediate sales or not, it's an investment for the future of your business, because 1, you're collecting data, and 2, you're learning what is working and what isn't. So you got your ads running, as I said, between $10 to $20 a day. And you want to have them running for at least anywhere between 4 to 7 days before you actually start making some significant changes. So once you've collected a bit of data, after a couple of days, you want to start looking at a few metrics on your ad performance to figure out whether that audience is got the buyers in it, as it's got the potential to actually bring you sales in the future. So the first thing I look at is the click-through rate. So you want to have a look at how many people are actually clicking on that ad from Facebook to go to your website. And that's determined by the click-through rate. So it'll give you a percentage, and you can interpret it as how many people out of 100 impressions, 100 views are clicking on that ad. So the higher the better, basically. If you get anything under 0.5%, then there's something wrong with that ad. There's either something wrong with that ad, or that audience isn't really interested. So if you're running the same ad to different audiences, and they're all getting a horrible click-through rate, then it's potentially because the product you're trying to sell sucks. No one's interested in it, or very few people are interested in it, so they're not clicking on it. However, if you find that you're running the same ad to different audiences, one audience, say you've got 5 different audiences, 3 of them have got click-through rate of 2 to 3%, which is quite good. It's quite impressive to get a click-through rate of that high. And then the other 2 are getting click-through rate under 0.5%. Then that it's not the product, it's not the ad, it's the actual targeting that isn't particularly interested in that product. So click-through rate, if you've got a good click-through rate overall, then that's a green light. So it's a good sign. Next thing I like to look at is the number of view contents versus the link clicks. So when you run your conversion ads, it's going to record for you the number of view contents, and that's a activity based off your pixel tracking. So view content is fired every time someone views a particular page on your site. So if I jump onto a website and I browse 5 pages and then I leave, that fires 5 view contents. And you want to look at the ratio between the view contents to link clicks, because every time someone clicks your ad to your website, that's going to be 1 link click. So if I get 1 link click, and then for every link click I'm getting 5 view contents, what that means is that audience is quite interested in your site. They're browsing your site, which is actually a very good thing, because they're not leaving your site right away. Basically, it's simple. If they're browsing your site, then they might not be interested in the immediate link you sent them to. So whether that was a particular product page for an individual product, they might not be interested in that, but they're going to your homepage, they're going to your other categories, they're looking at all different products. So that's another promising factor about that audience. If you've got if the ratio is less than 1, so you don't want to have a 1-to-1. If you've got a 1-to-1 ratio, what that means is you're getting too many people clicking on your ad, going to your site, they're firing the view content once, but then they're leaving right away. What that means is, it can mean a number of things, really. So I'll give you an example here. So if you got, say, 50 clicks and you got 50 view contents, then that could mean a number of things. It could mean that the product, they're just not interested in it. They get to your page, they're just not, they look at your site, they don't like your product. Could mean your website, there's an issue with your website. So your website might be super slow at loading. The images might load really slow or something, and they just can't be bothered waiting, so they cancel out. Maybe the product images are real crappy. You've got poorly defined product images, poor quality product images. So that may not necessarily mean that the ad is performing bad, because you're getting the clicks on your site, but you're just not getting the view contents. So you want to have a good ratio between the clicks to the view contents. So as I said, it could be a number of things: speed, the product images, the pricing, the navigation, or it could be a broken link. So perhaps when it links to your site, you sent them to the wrong link or something, and it's like a 404 page. So it's still firing a view content, but they're just like, oh, there's nothing here, and they just cancel out right away. So these are the things to consider. First, the click-through rate. You've got a solid click-through rate. Then you're comparing the number of link clicks to the view contents, and the ratio is looking quite good. So it's lower than 1, basically. Then the next thing you want to start looking at is the more precise actions. And these are the number of add to carts, initiate checkouts, and add payment info. So if you haven't got any purchases yet, and you've been running the ad for a couple of days, but you've actually had quite a significant number of these actions happening, then what that means is there's interest for that product from that particular audience. There's just something stopping them from completing the purchase. And don't be deterred if you've spent, say, $50 on an ad and you've had no purchases, but you've had a ton of this happening. Because what that means is you're getting more data for your retargeting ads, which means you're going to catch them on the second or the third time they see your ad. And these ads here, they run at really low cost, because the audience is quite precise and defined that they can find them right away on Facebook and they can show them an ad again. So you might spend $50. Say you spend $50 on this ad, on a conversions ad, you get no sales, but you get a shit ton of this data, and then you're running a retargeting ad on $10 a day, and you're pulling in 3 to 4 sales every day on that retargeting, because they don't want to buy the first time, but the second, third time they saw it, they decide to buy on the retargeting ad. then you're basically, you got to spread it out. You got to look at the average cost per purchase, not just from this one it's not a poor performing ad, but from this ad that isn't directly bringing sales, but the retargeting ad itself. So that's something that I feel a lot of people don't quite understand with Facebook, is that you might not get the sales the first time on the ad, but you're paying for the awareness and the attention. So always, my advice is to always take the total of your ad spend and the total of your sales made. So you might be spending a total of $300 on ads, yet like 90% of the ads aren't getting any sales, but 10% of the sales are coming from, so like 90% of the ads aren't getting the sales, but the ones that are pulling in majority of your sales, it's a retargeting, and you're spending $300 on ads in total, and you're making $700 in sales, yet 90% of your ads aren't pulling in sales. That's still good, because what that means is that audience needs to see your ad the second or third time before they actually are convinced to buy. And what will happen is you'll collect more data, especially like the Facebook purchase pixel data, and your ads will get better at actually targeting buyers, more active buyers. And then those conversion ads that weren't actually bringing in any sales, they will start generating you sales. So you just have to give it a bit of time. You really need to determine like your cost per purchase, so your customer acquisition. So as I said, in the situation, you're spending $300 on ads, you're pulling in $700 in sales. What is the price per sale? So say, your price per sale is $100. You made 7 sales. So you spent $700 on ads. $300 on ads. You made 7 sales. So let's do the math on that. So that is, what's 300 divided by 7? 300 divided by 7. So that's $42 per customer acquisition. So you're spending $42 to get a customer, but they're spending $100 on the product. So say that product, you've got a profit margin of 80% on that product. So the product costs you $20 and you're selling it for $100. So you got $80 profit on that. Then you spend $42 acquiring a customer, which means that your bottom line profit is roughly $38, if my math is correct. So if I do the number, you're spending $300 on ads, pulling in $700 in revenue. So 7 sales, average order value equals $100, and then that means that $100, your average cost per purchase is the 300 divided by 7, which equals 42 roughly. So that's your cost for an customer acquisition. I won't do the rest of the numbers. As I said, you're selling the product for $100, you're getting it for $20, you're getting an $80 profit margin on it, minus the cost for advertising per customer, $38 profit margin on a $100 profit. On a $100 product, sorry, mumbling my damn words, you're getting $38 profit. 38%, that's pretty solid, man. Anywhere between 30 to 40%, you're doing well. So it's a numbers game. You got to determine the cost of your customer acquisition via paid ads, and then if the numbers work out in your favor, keep running those ads. Of course, when it comes to actually scaling, you want to have the right data, so you know which ads are worth scaling, in order to make it as efficient in terms of your money in for advertising and your money out for revenue. So once you start pulling in the purchases, those ads that are pulling in the purchases, you'll start getting the purchase fires eventually on the ad. So it will tell you you've made 5 purchases on this ad. You want to then increase the daily budget of that ad by 20% each day if it's profitable. So if you've got a $10 a day ad, then switch that to, what's that? What's 20% of 10? That's $2? $12. As long as it's profitable the next day, or it's promising, so it's still getting a very good click-through rate, still getting a lot of clicks to your website, it's getting all the other activity. So base it by day, then increase it to another 20%, another 20%. Do this for a couple days, as long as it's still profitable, and then you can start jumping it up a bit. So say you've increased it by 20% for like 3 days, and you hit around like $15 a day, and then you're happy with the results so far, then bump it up to 20. If it's still profitable, it's still working. You got a shit ton of data on your pixel, Facebook's optimized that ad set really well, then bump it up to 25, 30, 35, 50, and just keep an eye every single day. Keep an eye on how much it spends and then the sales it generates. As long as it's still profitable, then keep bumping up the price. You'll get to a point where it will just be fully saturated, where it's no longer profitable. So what I normally like to do is I like to keep it running for about 2 to 3 days after that. So I get around like the $50 a day mark, and it's no longer profitable. I'll let it run for 2 to 3 days, and then I'll check how it's going. And if it's still not profitable, if it's actually dying, so it's starting to go downhill in terms of like people interacting with it, clicking on the link to my website, the amount spent on the ad versus the amount in sales it's generated, then I'll start to decrease the daily budget by nothing too significant. I might go between like $7 to $10 a day. So if it's at $50, I might bump it down to like maybe like $45, $42, see how that performs, and then 30, maybe around 35. And I try to keep it at like a point where if it's still generating sales, I need to find the right daily budget to keep it at, so that it is running at profit, basically. So this entire strategy, I know it's a bit long-winded. I know the presentation isn't the best, but like, if you just look at the numbers, look at the data, have your wits about yourself, have a bit of resilience, bit of determination, be willing to spend a bit of money at the start. So this process, you need a bit of capital. So this, if you're planning on doing drop shipping and you have $100 to spend on Facebook ads, then this process isn't for you. This is for someone who's willing to invest around like $500 to $1,000 in ads during the testing phase for 1 to 2 weeks, knowing in their mind that the investment is going to pay off for them. May not be, within a week, 2 weeks, may not be a month, but within 6 months, they know that they're going to have the formula, the strategy to be able to make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, or $10,000 a day, depending how quick they climb. Then this is the strategy for them. So it's just a rinse and repeat process. You're running this with as many different ad types and ad audiences as you can. So if you're running depending on the product you're selling, you might want to test as many different ad creatives to similar audiences or to the same audience. If you've got a big broad market, then you want to be using this process with as many different audiences as you can. So that's split by the demographics, the ages, the interests, the location. And it's just a matter of testing wide. So testing wide, many different audiences, and then scaling up with the winning ones. So increasing by daily budget. And you'll be surprised how soon you can actually start hitting those $1,000 days. I mean, if you're selling a $100 product, then you only need to make 10 sales a day. Like it's quite simple. If you're selling a $50 product, then you only have to make 20 sales a day. So I'm going to wrap that video up now because that's a lot longer than I thought it'd be. But if there's something in this video that doesn't make sense, then just drop a comment below. And I'll be sure to explain it some more. Again, feel free to join my Facebook group. As soon as you join, drop a comment saying if you came from YouTube, and if you've got any questions regarding the video, you can also ask me in this group. I try to answer all the posts that I put up. And hopefully, if any of you get $1,000 a day from the strategy on this video, then let me know. Add me on Facebook. Send me a message, or post into this group or any other Shopify group, and feel free to shout out my name or link my video. And yeah, I guess all the other stuff. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please do. Like I'm almost at How many subscribers do I have? I think I almost got 1,000. I'm 5 away from 1,000. So who wants to be the 1,000th subscriber? Although by the time some of you are watching this video, I'm probably over 1,000 anyway. So this is my channel, E-commerce Prosperity. My name's Felix Page, and again, I thank you for your patience, your time watching this video, and I sure hope this will work for anyone who takes action on it. All right, so take care. Thank you.